All right, so I'm gonna be starting a series that I'm calling Duelist for Dummies, right? This video is gonna have a lot of talking points. The series is gonna have a lot of talking points. There's gonna be a lot of gameplay. There's gonna be a lot of like do's and don'ts. But I feel like I need to start at the basic level. I was watching somebody the other day, and they said that I was watching somebody the other day, and I think they said uh, I think they were saying that one of the things that or one of the things that players in this game struggle with is like you have to break this shit down Barney style, right? Like you have to ABC 1, 2, 3 walk people through it, all right? So I'm going to do a guide on Duelist, right? This guide is going to be made from the view of solo queue. What I see every day solo queuing. No, I don't duo queue. I play every game by myself. I never play with anybody in any competitive shooter because I want to see how far I can go solo. These are all solo queue opinions, all solo queue takes, right? But before we start, I want to start at the basis of what the actual theme of this video is about, and it's the role duelist. All right. I think one of the biggest issues that people have when it comes to discerning duelists is, right, is people don't understand what an actual duelist is. So what do I mean by people don't understand what an actual duelist is? All right. So this role, Duelist, right, makes up the biggest player base in Marvel Rivals. Like, when it comes to players and when it comes to characters, this is the biggest player base in the game, right? Duelist has 18 characters. All the other roles have 10. I think Strategist has 11 and Tank has 10. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, Strategist has 11, Tank has 10. There's 18 duelists in this game, right? So, how do we, as duelists, make the game impact the game, right? I think the first step in realizing what this role is understanding the word duelist and not DPS. So there's three stats in this game that this game likes to give you, right? That people pay attention to. It's damage, damage block, healing, and accuracy percentage, right? On Duelist, people mostly play to your accuracy percentage and your damage, right? And in a game where, if you were a DPS, which stands for damage per second, in a game like that, I would understand having high damage numbers and not necessarily getting kills because you're a DPS. In this game, that role does not exist. The role is called Duelist, which means that you should be dueling other characters, which in turn means you should be getting elims. The one stat that people don't look at when it comes to Duelists is eliminations. It does not matter if you're getting fucking damage in this game, and I'm going to explain it to you why it does not matter. One of the biggest reasons why it doesn't matter if you're farming damage in this game is because, one, you're not improving the game state, two, you're not actually pushing objective, and three, healing in this game is absurd, right? The amount of sustain that strategists can generate in this game will literally negate the damage you do on a duelist if you're just doing what I like to call empty damage, right? Empty damage is when you're sitting main and you're shooting tanks, right? You're not really getting elims, right? So you're not really improving the game state. You're putting pressure on the team, but it's not like really pressure with impact. You're just giving them pressure, right? For example, right? Phoenix, right? Phoenix is a character that does a lot of burst damage, right? So theoretically, you could sit main with this character and just shoot your fucking cosmic flare, your primary fire down range and spark a whole bunch of people and not get elims. And you used to get your ultimate from doing that, right? Well, now you get 25% less ult charge from all sources, right? You have to get elims to get ult charge, right? Which means you have to learn how to play neutral. But it also means specifically for this role, you need to get fucking eliminations, man. You need to get eliminations, right? Damage farming does nothing for your team, right? You're not improving the game state, right? If I was to sit main and just hit Phoenix's Cosmic Flare and just spark people, but I wouldn't get any elims, like I'm not doing anything I'm not doing anything to improve the game state, basically. All I'm doing is just applying what I call like negative pressure, right? You're applying negative pressure because you're wasting reserves, yeah, reserves. And you're not really like, they're not wasting resources on you, right? They're healing each other, right? You're not disrupting the flow of their game, right? Which is why characters like this, right? You should look to off angle. You hear a lot of this being talked about when it comes to good and bad DPS, is like knowing how to off angle and playing off angles. So I'm gonna show you an in-game example. I'm gonna give you not an in-game example, but I'm gonna show you a range example of what I'm talking about, right? So we're gonna the range, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to shit like this, because I feel like if I don't, you guys would get mad confused, right? You wouldn't understand. So we're gonna go in the range, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. In the range, I'm gonna show you the difference of two, right? You could play Phoenix theoretically two ways, right? There's two ways to play DPS, right? There is the ineffective way and there's the effective way. This is kind of what the ineffective way looks like, right? So if I was Phoenix, right, and say, let's go to where there's a lot of bots. Say these two bots are the other team, right? And I'm just sitting back here behind my tank and I'm just doing this. I'm just spamming my fire, right? I'm just spamming my fire. I might get an elimination every now and then, right? They still aren't pretty much backing up. Like, I'm not forcing them to give up space, right? Because I'm not pressuring them. Their supports are still healing. Their tank is probably still walking forward. They're using natural cover. Like, they're closing this gap, right? But if I'm just sitting here doing this as a DPS and I'm not really influencing the game state, I'm not helping my team. That's why you hear people say, hey, you need to take an off angle, right? So if I'm up here and say these two bots are supports now, and I'm constantly damaging the supports, right? I'm constantly on this angle right here, damaging the supports. I'm sparking the supports. They have to heal. They have to stop healing their teammates. They both have to look at me. They're coming to their teammates. Their teammates are forcing me off of this angle that I'm standing on, right? Now, their team is focused on me. So while I'm getting off this angle and I'm getting pressure, the rest of my team is now able to walk up and take all this free space because the people back here will be focusing on me up there. And I think as DPS, that is one of the most underutilized skills that people have as DPS. They don't understand that, like, you should be playing for elims. You should not be playing for damage, right? You should be playing for elims, right? So there's really not realistically a time in this game where you should be shooting tanks, unless you are this guy. If you are Wolverine, you should be fighting tanks, because that's what Wolverine does. If you're Iron Fist, you should be fighting tanks. He's considered a tank-busting character. If that is your DPS role and you're supposed to be fighting tanks, fight tanks. But most of the time, you should be creating pressure on an off angle. You should be looking for elims. You should be looking to finish kills that your other DPS or your support or your tanks are doing. You should be looking to finish elims that your tanks are suffering up or your DPSs are suffering up. Because you can have 7,000 damage at the end of the game. But guess what? If you have no elims and your team loses, you were not impacting the game at all. Right? Another thing that I want to talk about, right, is this notion that as a DPS, right, I'm switching to Psylocke, this notion as a DPS that you need to go and always kill supports. No, that's not how you play the character, right? Psylocke and Daredevil are probably the best isolation characters in this game. And what I mean by isolation is if you fight these characters in a 1v1 on their own grounds, they're pretty much going to kill you. Every single time you will die to these characters in a 1v1, right? I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know who, I don't know where, but their kits are literally built to 1v1, right? So with that being said, one of the biggest things I see people struggle with, especially on Psylocke, is they do a whole bunch of nothing, right? They'll see two supports in the back line, right? They'll go to the back line, they'll try to flank, the supports will turn around, they'll force them off an angle, they'll dash, they'll waste all their cooldowns, and they'll run away, and then they'll come back, and they'll do the same thing, and they'll try to poke, and they won't get a kill, and then they'll waste their cooldowns, and they'll dash away. They won't force out any support ult or any support cooldown, right? And they're just not an effective Psylocke. What you should be actively doing on characters like Psylocke and Daredevil, you should be looking for characters that are isolated away from their team and trying to 1v1 them. And not necessarily all the time is that going to be a support. Not necessarily all the time is it going to be a DPS. It could be a tank that's in your backline too long that dove. It could be Hello on an off angle. It could be a Phoenix on an off angle. It could be all these characters separated from their team trying to pressure your team, and you go over there and you take the 1v1. And 99% of the time with characters like Psylocke and Daredevil, if you take the 1v1, you win because that's how their kit is designed. Their kit is designed to win 1v1s, right? And I think like off angling and like trying to isolate and get picks on characters like Psylocke, like Daredevil, like Phoenix, like this should be like your job as a DPS. Like a DPS is a duelist. As a duelist, you should be looking to get in as many duels as you can. You should be trying to get into 1v1s, right? You should be trying to get into a skill check, is what a lot of people call a skill check, right? Where it's just a 1v1 is going to come down to your skill versus the other person's skill. That's what you should be trying to do, right? Because sitting in main as a DPS isn't going to, as a duelist, isn't going to improve the game state, right? You're not going to help your team win, right? You're not really helping your team at all, right? One, you're not learning positioning because you probably have horrible positioning. Two, you have no clue how your kit works. And you don't even know if you're good enough on the character that you're maining because all you're doing is sitting in main. Another thing, and this is going to be a whole second series in this video when I actually break down the different types of duelists in this game. Another tip that I can give you as a duelist is play into your team's strong suit. If your team is playing a composition where you see they're trying to play like a whole bunch of range characters, you probably have a mag, you probably have a strange, right? You have Hela as your other DPS, or you have a Punisher as your DPS, right? Your team isn't looking to dive. They're not looking to be aggressive. They're not looking to get in the back line. They're trying to play poke. They are trying to poke, right? They're trying to play a poke composition, right? That means they're trying to do damage from long range angles. They're not trying to brawl. They're not trying to dive. So when you see that comp, try to pick a character that fits that comp. Don't be that duelist that's like, oh, my whole team is playing poke. I'm gonna take it upon myself and play dive. Or my whole team's playing dive. I'm gonna take it upon myself and play poke. Right? Now this line does get muddied a lot. It does. It gets muddied a lot. Specifically because there's duelists that are able to play multiple roles in this game, right? There's duelists that are brawl plus hit scan, or brawl plus poke characters. There's dive and brawl characters. Like there's a lot of like nuances in these characters where like they can do one or two things. But what I'm saying is if the majority of your team is playing a certain way, don't try to force your playstyle on their team, right? Or if you are going to do that, pick these heroes. I will give you heroes that'll help you succeed if you're a selfish bastard like that. If you want to do that, the only two heroes in the game you should be playing are Daredevil and Psylocke. Why Daredevil and Psylocke? Because both of these characters can go pretty much do their own thing, right? And wait, it's one more, Jean. It should be Daredevil, Psylocke, and Jean, right? Those three characters by themselves can pretty much play whatever style they want to. Like, you don't have to play with your team, right? If your team's trying to brawl, you can still off angle on these characters. You can get in a lot of 1v1s on these characters. They have self-sustain. They have a lot of abilities to keep them alive when they're split from their team and when they're far in the back from their team and they live, right? But Crying Wolf, what about Spider-Man? Spider-Man, right? Unless your team is playing off the pressure that you're going into, right? Like if your team is actively pushing up when you're distracting the whole team by diving their back line and web pulling and doing Spider-Man's combos in their back line, if your team is walking up and making space off that pressure, then guess what? Don't fucking swap. You're doing your job. But if your team needs help, right? They need you to help peel for your supports, or they need you to help keep them alive or win more team fights, and you're going 1v5 in the back isn't helping them, then stop and switch to a character, right? Switch to a character that helps your team. This is like the most underrated thing about duelists that people don't talk about, because people have an ego in this game and people consider some duelists high skill, people consider some duelists low skill, people try to force everyone to play their game, man. At the end of the day, this is a team-based game, right? You can get 50,000 eliminations, right? You can get all the healing you want to, you get all the damage you want to, all the damage blocked, but if your team is not on the same page and your teammates aren't helping you and you guys aren't pushing together, guess what? You're going to lose every single time and you're going to get frustrated, right? This game is heavily team-based, right? So you should try to make this game as easy for you and your teammates to win because that's what you should be trying to do, right? Another thing that I want to talk about DPS, and this is like my pet peeve with this role, there is 18 duelists in this game. We have the largest roster of any other characters, of any other class in this game. We have the largest roster of any other class in this game. The largest exists in the duelist category. So there should be no reason why you are one-tricking characters in this. It's too many fucking characters. It's too many options for you to choose from to one-trick a character. Right? You should not be trying to force brawl, right? If they have flyers, right? You should not be trying to force dive if they have anti-dive comp. You need to learn how to switch. And to learn how to switch, that means you need to learn versatility. So that means if you are playing this game, you should, in my opinion, if you're going to have a duelist pool, your pool should at least have one hit scan character, one projectile character, one melee character, and one dive character. Because if you have one in each category, you now know how to play every role in this game, right? You know how to play every category of duelist, right? So you know how to play melee when melee gets bad. You know how to play dive if you need to dive. You know how to play hit scan if you're dealing with flyers. You know how to play projectile characters, right? You have an answer for every single comp that the game is going to play. You need to learn how to do that. You need to learn how to play one character of each type. There should be, in my opinion, this is the only role in the game where you should main maybe 4 characters. You should main four characters because we have the most characters in the game. So you should main 4, at least 4 heroes, right? You should learn 4 heroes. If you're going to be a DPS main, you should learn 4 heroes, right? 4 main heroes. I am now going to give you a list of statistically the best heroes for solo queue in the game that you should be taking in with you. All right. These are probably the top 8 DPS in the game currently, but these are the DPSs I highly recommend you learn, right? So we're going to start at number 1. It's going to be Phoenix. Phoenix is a hit scan character. She has a lot of damage drop off, but the reason why she's really good and everybody's playing her is because she has so much self-sustain. Phoenix has she has her fly, she has her teleport, so she has 2 movement abilities. She has 2 stuns because her teleport stuns and her alternate fire stuns. She is a hit scan, right? So she can damage flyers, right? And she's kind of like a mid to close range character, right? Like you can brawl with Phoenix. Phoenix is good in brawl comp because she does a lot of damage up close. You can dive with Phoenix. You can play a lot of off angles with this character. You can poke with Phoenix, technically. You can't poke as far as Ella, but you can poke with Phoenix. But she is just an all-around duelist. Like, she can pretty much do everything you would want a duelist to do. And she has self-sustain because she can heal herself, right? The second character on this list is going to be Psylocke. Psylocke, in my opinion, is not a dive character, but she's an assassin character. As in, Psylocke is really good at winning isolation 1v1s because of her cooldowns. Psylocke's neutral is fucking sane, man. Like, this character's neutral is just so good. Like, the ability to off angle, get picks, kill people, rotate back to your team, the ability to dictate whether you want to stay committed to a fight, you can decommit from a fight. She has a lot of dip on her chip, like a lot of dip on her chip, right? You have an invis and 2 dash to pretty much help you get out of any situation. She has a lot of survivability. She's probably like, in my opinion, if Phoenix is 1A, she's probably like 1B, right? The other character that is also on this list, if you can make it through a lobby, is Elsa. Elsa, just in general, should not be in this game. Like, right? Like, I don't think I don't think there'll be any nerf they can give this character to make her be relevant in the game. Like you can increase all her cooldowns. She's just too good. She has too much survivability. You get overhealth from doing anything. She can brawl. She can poke. She can counter dive. She has one of the best ultimates in the game into triple support in any comp for real. She's just a disruptor. It's really hard to kill her. It's really hard to die on this character, like I said, unless you're a bad character. And like I said, if Phoenix is 1A and she's 1B, she's probably 1C. Like all three, Psylocke, Phoenix, and Elsa could easily all three make their case for the best duelists in the game, and people really wouldn't fight you over that because all three of these characters are insanely good. And in solo queue, they're insanely good because they have survivability, and you can impact the game pretty much by playing like an asshole and doing what you want to do. You could play these three characters in any comp and find success, right? The last character in this whole like any comp find success is going to be Star-Lord. Star-Lord is the last character on this list where like you could play him in any comp and just be successful. Well, no, yeah, Star-Lord's the last one. Star-Lord is good because Star-Lord does a lot of things, right? You can play height, you can off angle, you can chase people off angles, you can isolate people on this character, you can go main and farm your ultimate. His ultimate is extremely good. His ultimate is broken with the Gambit team up. When he has the Gambit ultimate behind him and you pop this ultimate, you're able to do a lot with this character. He has a lot of survivability. He can stay alive a long time. He has a lot of mobility. I mean, this dude secretly got power crept in top 5. I think he is like damn near broken. Like this character is broken. I just think people don't play him because people don't understand his kit. And another thing that he does is he gets 2 dodges that makes him break iframes. And if you don't know what iframes is, it basically makes him invulnerable. So there's 2 actions you could do to reload your blasters that make you invulnerable to anything. He's invulnerable to CC. He's invulnerable to ultimates. You could do it in his ultimate to not get CC'd. You can do it to counter people trying to counter you. Like this character, man, is insane. Insane. Those 4 characters, you could probably play nothing but those 4 characters and climb. Like, you could probably just put hours on Star-Lord, Psylocke, Elsa, and Phoenix and just climb. And your teammates wouldn't hate you because they're just really good characters. They're really, really good characters. Now we move on to, I would say he's kind of like a fringe, like do-it-all, but a character that is running the lobby every single time, and that's fucking, not Blade, Daredevil. Daredevil's ability to win 1v1s and just snowball fights, because if he doesn't get stopped, he can just get elims. He has health. He can deflect. All of his abilities give him health. You get wall hacks. You can climb. You can hang and wait to pounce on people. Like, bro, and Dive and Brawl, I don't think there's a character better than him. He's better than Magic at Magic's job, at Dive and Brawl. Like, a lot of people say Magic is the best brawling character in this game. I always tell them, like, no, it's Daredevil. It's 1,000% Daredevil. Daredevil is probably the best melee character in this game because on the simple fact that Daredevil is whooping shit, right? Daredevil can single-handedly beat almost every character in this game every single time in a 1v1. Like, this man can beat tanks by himself in a 1v1. Like, he's really, really good. Really, really good. Really, really good isolation character. The only downside and why I say you won't climb with him as easy as the other 4 is because he just doesn't have range. Like, the whole way to stop Daredevil is to play range, and he just does not have range. He does not have the ability to, like, contest people at range. So that's it. But he's also a good all-around pick. Remember when I was telling you need to play one of each character? If I was to pick a melee character, I would highly suggest you play either him or Magic. None of the other melee characters are worth playing. I would highly suggest you play him or Magic if you had to pick a melee character, right? That's going to pivot me into my next point, which is Dive. And in my opinion, this character is the best dive character in the game. I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion because you're not seeing it in the lobbies and you're like, the fuck you talking about? If you look at the win percentage of this character, just in general, on Rivals, everybody that is from the top first person in this game to the lowest rank in this game, she has a 88% win ratio right now. Like, the lowest win ratio on Black Cat, I think on somebody that's in the top 10, is like 88%. Like she's 88%. Like she has the highest win rate in the game. And the reason why you don't see her being played is because people don't understand how to play this character. But this character is really simple. Like the gameplay loop on this character is pretty simple. You pretty much just do that, this, right? You pretty much just have to hit this every time to get money, and then you just spam claw whip, Phantom Pursuit, and then a dash. That's literally how you play this character. Now, when it comes to her market, right? These are pretty much the only items you should be buying from her market, right? You always want to buy the orb that gives you wall hacks, the Helm of Hades. These are pretty much the only two things you want to buy. These are like mandatory buys. You should get these every single time, right? Every time you have money, you should get these. This is a good buy if you are going to, if you're like going against a lot of flyers or you're trying to combo out. This is a good buy because it pretty much like stops them from using any movement ability. So if you're trying to set up like a big dive on a back line and you're in their back line and you have the money to spare, I would buy the Chrono Fish. This is super fucking situational. But this is good on maps like Payload if you want another contest. It's like a mini strange portal, right? So you can use it to go around walls that are blocked. You could use it to help move your team around like a choke. Like it's a really good like pathing tool. Again, this is very situational. But again, like on Black Cat, you pretty much want the orb or the Helm of Hades. These are the only two. And then how you actually engage on this character, because a lot of people don't know what they do, how to play this character. You want to go invis, right? You want to get on a wall behind them, and you pretty much want to set your engagement up from right here, because all you're going to do every single time, you're going to lead with that, you're going to dash, you're going to hit them with the Claw Whip, Phantom Pursuit, Claw Whip again, and then you're going to get up out of there. You're going to get up out of there. But this is pretty much how you want to engage on this character, right? You pretty much want to engage on this character like that. You always want to engage off of some type of high ground. You want to get a quick still, right? You want to go Phantom Pursuit. You want to get out of there, right? This is pretty much how you play the character. This character isn't that hard to understand. I just think that a lot of people just don't know how to play this character, and a lot of people are overcomplicating a character. But yes, she is the best dive character in the game, in my opinion, outside of Daredevil, because she has the ability to like just do so much in your backline, right? And then the other thing is this character is incredibly hard to hit in this game. Like incredibly hard to hit. Like if they have their dashes up and they have the Phantom Pursuit and their dashes up, like you're not killing them. And even if you do get close to killing them, all they're gonna do 99% of the time is use one of her abilities to get out of the way, and then you lose, right? They're gonna use like either this to go invis and reset up in your back line. They're gonna use this to get in your back line, or they're gonna do this, because this is pretty much better at setting up pretty much flanks. They're gonna do this, right? This is gonna tell them where you are. They're gonna come down. They're gonna line up their crosshair, get the still from you, dash through you, hit you with the Claw Whip, Phantom Pursuit, Claw Whip, and they just get all their money back. And then it's just gonna snowball. And then if you let them build to this, you pretty much are dead. Like if Black Cat ever gets this on your team, like because of the way that it works, like dude, it's so hard to kill this character. It's so hard to kill this character if you let her get going, and like it infinitely refreshes. It's like Bucky's again. This character is really good, man. I just think a lot of people don't understand the player. She's like the actual best dive character in the game, just because you can get so much info and setup on this character. Yeah, so that's number 7. Number 8 is gonna be this guy. This guy's, I mean, what else is there to say about this character? This character is insane. If you have the Hella team up, he's just literally GG, man. He's the most annoying character or duelist to play against in this game. Like, actually, this man literally is the most aggravating character to play in the game. Like, playing against, like, a good no more that knows what they're doing, if you're a Spider-Man or you're a BP or you're a Black Cat and you're trying to play dive, or a Daredevil, like this character is just insane, man. And God forbid you have Hella. God forbid you let Hella make it through the pick phase. This character is insane. You can pretty much, again, if you're solo queuing, you pretty much solo calm with this character too. Just know that like in low elo, right, you have to learn where to place your squids and how to hold them off. And then always practice aiming with this guy. And again, like the last character on this list is Wolf. Wolf is the last DPS that I feel like everyone should play. With Wolf, the difference between like Wolf and the other characters is like, I think a lot of people think with Wolf you just need to like you need to like dive and play with your team, and like yes, that is how you kind of want to play this character. But again, like Wolverine's like best attribute is the fact that he's able to tank bust, and because like people are selfish, right? And you guys are pretty much running either triple DPS or triple support, and you're leaving tanks by themselves. Wolverine just feast on tanks. Like he's a really good tank buster. So if they're playing like aggressive brawl heavy tanks, like Wolverine's like longevity, his ability to just get in and like just do more damage inherently to tanks. He has last stand where he has like god tier levels of resilience. Like this man gets low and he pretty much just like literally just changes the outcome of the game. So I mean, I don't know. This guy is just absurd. I don't know. I just think that Wolverine is he's just too good. He's just too good. But yeah, those are like some starter DPSs. I'm gonna go more into Duelist. I'm gonna go more into Duelist later on, but I'm gonna show you the actual 4 that I'm currently running right now. So for me, the 4 Duelists that I'm currently running right now, I'm running Elsa, Bloodstone. I'm running Psylocke, Phoenix, and I was running DD, but I actually just switched to Black Cat. So like, these are like my 4 right now that I'm running, right? I have a melee / dive. I have a hit scan. I have 3 hit scans. When I get to where she gets banned, I usually substitute her for Winter Soldier. So I do play a projectile character, if you were wondering before you get on me, I do play a projectile character. His name is Winter Soldier, but most of the time, like, I just play Elsa Elsa is always my #1 pick if she's unbanned. And then I always go Phoenix. Psylocke, if they have a lot of sustain, I need to go in their back line. And if my team is playing dive, I always go Black Cat. But these are pretty much the 4 characters that I am playing currently. I was playing Star-Lord instead of Psylocke, and I was playing Hela instead of Phoenix, but I switched these 2 back because Psylocke is my best character in rank, and Phoenix, you just stay alive forever. There is a world where I have dropped Black Cat before and switched this with DD when my team was playing DD. There's a world where I was not playing Black Cat or DD at all, and this was Bucky. There's a world where I wasn't playing Black Cat and DD at all, and this was Scarlet, right? Or Namor for anti-dive. But like right now, the characters that I have like true mastery on, it's probably these 3. I'm still learning Black Cat, so like I wouldn't say I have mastery on Black Cat, but these 3 characters I know in ranked, if we need to win the game, like I can pick any of those characters and we're instantly gonna win and we're locked in. But yeah, this is the end of the first video. Like I said, I'll be making a series. The name of the series will be called DPS for Dummies. Thank you for stopping by. Peace.